Alright, this is gonna be Gambit versus Mouse Esports. Mouse Sports, however it's pronounced. I've never seen this game. All I know is it's for relegations to see who stays in LCS. This is game 1. I've never watched Mouse play, and I've seen some of Gambit. They're using Pinoy because I believe Forgiven was banned again for toxicity or whatever came across. So let's get started and pick him.
Laners with the lowest farm.
They're banning Olaf against Cabochard. It's fine.
Out of all the mid laners in LCS,
Lulu,
in terms of farm share,
it's another
we
good
thought
ban.
when Forgiven was going to step in, that was going to get even worse.
Go through.
Then again, Forgiven turned into more of a utility AD carry on the likes of Corki, and Betsy started stepping up, getting more farm and doing well with it. So yeah, we'll have to see if that plays out the same way in this series.
Well, that dynamic's going to change again with Pinoy coming in. But now we do have the first couple of bans coming out. Olaf and Fizz coming in from Mouse Sports, and Lulu out from Gambit. Fizz has been banned against Cabochard so many times, 8 times over the split so far, and Lulu will be back.
As these picks and bans,
Shen ban.
Lane,
2 bans prioritizing champion. Great early
on.
on.
Only take we could see if it's out. So and then adapting
Maokai
between bans. Tribute to the famous Disco Nunu. Probably
no,
not gonna
that
come
would be
in here.
Snowman.
Overall, I'm expecting either Braum or Gangplank early pick. With multiple
Tribute
counters
to
open,
Snowman.
I think Gangplank can pass through the ranks. So Braum first pick is what I would like to see. But it seems like Mouse Sports is just locking in that GP first.
Yeah, GP comes in as the first pick, and Mountain does play Braum, so we could see that coming out as well. Gambit, what are they going to bring out here? There's lots of power picks, as you mentioned, still open from the banning phase. At least would be one of them. Potential counter picks as well for the Gangplank. Ribbon still open. Cabochard again strikes me as a person who could.
But by not especially
because Jinx was an entirely different player from Sire in terms of how
pick.
he plays his champion pool. I know he's been playing a lot of Cassiopeia, Ari.
I didn't even notice
that
she made it through bans.
And now maybe he's adapted to the meta. We don't know yet. We just haven't seen him in competitive. And Ramesses
saying stuff.
Just hovering crap.
And put on the bot, and there's swap pick and ban from Mouse Sports for me.
Not just yet, but we've seen a priority on Braum increase through best of 5, so that may change as we get through this one.
Taking it
so
away
game
from
1, and Rek'Sai will be
Cannon.
that pickup from Dan, where he's spoken about his playstyle on that champion. Kennen comes out.
That Rek'Sai is honestly interesting to expect, just adding a lot of pressure and vision. Perhaps they find no Gambit can just lock in potentially a top laner right here and save the counter pick for them to really want to wait and play around Cabochard. That was the man we said over at the Analyst S2, this is the man to watch, the potential carry for this series. That's why they're giving him the last pick, the counter pick.
Yeah, it makes
Orianna
a lot of sense. As you mentioned, GP could be mid lane Sora. GBM pick up that one, very strong. And Victor and Fresh will be the next 2 pickups. So we are going to be seeing that Fresh onto Gosu. Big pickup of Mountain as well. Be interesting to see where he goes from here. Braum is still a possibility.
Yeah,
I don't know why Victor
GP
wasn't
could go both
first
mid
pick
and top.
priority
Kennen
with
could
those
go
bans,
both
and
top and
close to
support
making
to an
the bans
extension
are
mid, but
pretty
it's not
interesting.
quite the best mid. But we've seen Kennen support over Spanish kill. Spurs will have to initiate.
As you mentioned, and it would fit into that.
Sivir.
But we're still looking at these hovers. We only have a couple seconds left before they lock it in. It's going to be the Malphite and Sivir. So presumably that's going to be support Kennen, but we've seen support Malphite as well in Challenger.
Yeah, I've played a couple times against support Malphite. Not quite sure what I think about it.
With this, they can have a few different options. I don't think it's support Malphite. I think Gangplank's going to go mid, and the Kennen's going to be support Malphite top. It's really throwing off that counter pick that they saved for Cabochard. I mean, you can assume that the Kennen's going to go support, the Malphite's going to go top, and Gangplank's going to go mid, because Gangplank can... has been some mid Gangplank shenanigans lately, but let's see how it folds out.
I think it's okay if you can play against bot lanes that aren't organized very often, but I think you can punish this and it's okay a little bit that way dimensional, because it's easier to get used to the stage, especially if you're a new team, to have a clear game plan. Don't make no complex double split push 1-3-1 double teleport composition
where everyone's going.
So much communication. No, keep it simple. Press R, win game.
Find the strategy, executing it well, and this is going back to basics for them as well. Last couple, they did well. Or G have today in
R2, they were still thinking more.
As we ban out against him a lot of times. Usually you would ban it against him and then it would put him on one of his crazier picks in the jungle, which is something that the challenger teams were able to exploit.
Victor Gangplank lane? I'm not quite sure how it's going to work.
On this composition, putting the
different
GP
lane
mid
matchup.
lane as well. Something will be interesting to see.
It
because
does
Jins
open
is the
Gangplank
wild
up for a
card in
little
the setup.
more.
And Mouse is not
can
going
get
for the
ganked a little bit
traditional
easier.
invade where you put 3 deep wards to then not only have
Especially
to
if
guess
the
the
lane swap
but be
does
able to
go through,
predict it
which I
and
believe it
adapt
is.
to it, dividing the map in
Three-man,
half. They
two-man
are
roam
going for a
from
lane
Thresh,
swap.
and Elise could kill
but
off
they're
this
putting Saber,
Gangplank.
sneaking them in the brush. That ended
Looks
up
like just the line of
Mouse
scrimmage.
jungle starts
No,
will transition normally, so no 3 buff
no
shenanigans. So we
shenanigans
should
of
see an
invades.
even game with a lane swap.
To ignite
lane
last
swap.
second, so
Ooh, Thresh is coming
talked
in.
about,
They're gonna
Infix
scare them
Labs has
away.
been changing up, and as you mentioned in that lane swap,
Like what Gambit's doing here, swapped upon. You have problems. They saw Ghost Pepper invade. Mouse, they had that ward in Tribush. This is a good adaptation by both teams here. Starting at the, so they know it's a lane swap, and now we see Dan moving in. He's going to get a free smite. So really smart positioning here by Mouse overall.
yep, Dan gets the smite down. He's going to be taking away that experience, but he's taking a lot of damage in from Pinoy. Didn't go for that Ren. First off, that's the ignite coming down. He's ticking out. He may actually burn.
Potion, let's save him.
Whoa! That's the ignite.
Did he?
That experience, but he's taking a lot of damage in from Pinoy. Didn't go for that Ren. First off, that's the ignite coming down. He's ticking out. He needs damage in from Pinoy. Didn't go for that Ren. First off, that was
that's what
about
happened.
13
Pinoy have been
he burned Pinoy.
What happened was when he flashed.
That was actually
When he flashed, he's still attacking this way.
Didn't go for that Ren. First off, that's the ignite coming down. He's ticking out. He may actually
wasn't
burn.
attacking.
Whoa! That
damn.
was actually going down to about 13
Pinoy
cancel
canceled an auto attack there in the very end. That should have or could have been Gambit
I don't
first,
think
but
you can
really
cancel
greedy at the end for
Costa's
Mouse.
autos.
Just wait until the golem drops low enough and then smite and get the hell out of there. But aggressive move from Gambit, getting information, that's very key. You can't play with zero vision in River and then play back on your map because then you can get exploited. So they move in aggressively. Edwards, fantastic scouting overall, but then yeah, Mouse mind game them by hiding in the bush because they used that one ward to their advantage. But that could have changed the
Malphite's
pace
kind
of
of
game
lost
1
right now
tremendously
because
already.
he
And now
doesn't have
Bitsu
anywhere to go.
is just having a bit of a stroll all the way
I
from
think they're
bottom
gonna
to
try
top,
and
so
fast push this
he's
turret.
already falling behind Cabochard.
And just
The
answer
tempo
this.
could have been changed, but it hasn't right now. Gambit did burn 2 summons for the flash, and then the ignite on Gosu versus just the flash from Dan, so Mouse did come out a little ahead in that, but now we have the rest of the laning phase to pan out.
Little interesting
Overall,
early
in terms
game,
of
a little
experience,
sloppy.
though, Gambit get the better end of it. Their top laner will get
Little
the
awkward
bounce
for
of the
Malphite
tower,
to be
bot
level
lane
1.
quicker. They've started
Needs
pushing
to
the
get
tower
level
faster.
6
It's
to
already down to roughly half
useful.
HP. Get in the time they can
They're
launch
try and
Spiral
fast push
Cabochard
this
forward
turret.
and just get him ahead
I
in
don't
this
think
game.
he'll go down
And this
this
is why
push.
we really like seeing that traditional 3 deep ward start, split the map up in half, because
This
there's
one well,
almost
though.
no counterplay than forcing your opponent to do the same, because you just have more vision control on one side of the map and you can punish, and if they don't mirror your play, you can just end up diving the top laner. That's why this lane swap is so common here over in Europe. Mousesports don't really have that knowledge yet, it seems, or they try to
Both turrets going
something
down. They're giving the
kind of
gold to
peculiar, but in the
Malphite
end,
because
Mouse
of how
Binsu right
far
here
behind he got
slightly
stuck.
behind Cabochard already.
Yeah, but he will be getting all of this gold from the tower, whereas Cabochard and Pinoy shared it in the bottom lane. Actually, Gosu as well, he was actually behind that turret, so that was split 3 ways. And Diamond will be taking away this red buff as well to track what Dan's doing.
Alright.
It wasn't
Looks
a
like
perfect
Victor is
wave
just gonna
bounce
bully out
on the
this
bot lane there for
Gangplank.
Gambit, but it doesn't really matter. We
Keep him
sometimes
shoved.
harp on it that you have to bounce the wave. But if the enemy bot lane is already approaching towards your lane, there's no point in freezing it, because that will again lead to you being dove under the tower.
At least
Smart
did
thing
steal
to
the
do
red
is just
buff.
then immediately push it
I
back, and that's
missed
what
it.
Cabochard did. Push back a few creeps, and now he's gonna base, so at least he can move to the other side of the map in case the enemy AD carry freeze. So a lot of reaction plays here, but Gambit so far seem to have a good grasp of how to lane swap. Cabochard going back to the top lane, it seems, and we're finally gonna get that 2v2 with the lane freezing actually back or being pushed back into Gambit. So Pinoy and Ghost Pepper should be able to catch that wave in the bottom without being dove. Imagine if this was just Cabochard, then he would obviously run the risk of getting dove on the turret and lose so much farm. And that is something Gambit want to avoid at all costs.
And Bintu was heading into the bottom lane, but has reconsidered and is now going elsewhere on the map. The wave is pushing into him in top lane, so it will get there eventually, but it's going to have to take a long stroll.
Malphite is
And
just
that is
lost
generally
right now
an indication
because
that
of the
teams
wave.
are just not communicating well or planning ahead. The fact
Malphite's pretty immobile, and if Elise Hecarim do try and gank him, he's gonna die. Like, he has too much of a gap to walk back. I think Elise should be hanging out towards this side. Malphite can't really do anything. He has to, like, go figure something to do. There's nothing for him to do. All these camps are taken. Rek'Sai needs to farm. Just not good for this Malphite because of the invade from Gosu Pepper and Pinoy.
that Beansu walked to the bottom and then is like, oh god, I guess I'm walking top lane now.
This Hecarim's going to get such a level advantage from that
indicative
freeze.
moment of, yeah, we lack the shot calling, we lack the big picture, and this could already spell out many things for this series.
Could do. He is heading up there now and has arrived at his destination. Took the scenic route, but he's there eventually. Diamond Prox, the man in the jungle, another big carry for the team. Has been a little inconsistent
like I
over
said,
the
he's
split,
going to go
but definitely had his
topside.
highs, as we saw earlier on.
Because Malphite really can't
just
do
got the
anything with
information
this.
that he was seen on a ward. Otherwise, Beansu would never back off there. Diamond is fine doing that because he can
taking a
fend
look
for
and see what's
himself
in the
when
jungle.
he finds the Rek'Sai. Good deep warding here by Mouse, but overall, look at how Beansu is already dropping farm.
Seeing
and the
that
2v2 in the
dance
top
coming
lane,
up.
Elise, Hecarim is stronger than Malphite Rek'Sai right now, and pretty much at any point in the game.
I think Elise is kind of just hunting out for a counter gank because of the level 2v2
There's a
advantage.
couple extra creeps in that wave, maybe 8 or 9. That Beansu could
Elise
technically
is
get
just
under
coming
that,
in at this
under that
point.
tower,
She has
but now
free
Diamond
roam
Prox
to do what she
eliminating
wants.
the backup too. Instead of waiting to fight 2v2 top, now he's just saying, well, I'll just fight you in your jungle, and this is what Diamond Prox is known for traditionally. Go back to Season 2, he was the guy that literally invented counter jungle. He's putting some pressure, and it's nice to see that Gambit is playing well together.
Yeah,
and
Malphite's
now
finally
that
going to pick up
Diamond
some
Prox
XP
is
because
forced out of
the
his
tower
jungle into
it
the
got
bottom
shoved
side,
in,
now
but
he
now
just goes
he's
top lane,
vulnerable
and
to
Beansu
a
will be by
dive.
himself. Level 5 hit.
Elise is
Remember,
coming
he has
in.
to repel. He wants to be taking the aggro here.
Once
Cabashot.
Elise takes the aggro,
Set this gank
Gonna
up.
be a normal
Remember,
gank.
Barrage is
Gangplank
up and it
trying to
comes
help.
down as well. Beansu's taking a bunch of damage now
screwed
underneath
this
this
up,
tower, still ticking down
but
from
Elise
the
still can
ignite.
kill him.
Diamond Prox just finds him with
Yep.
a Venom's Bite. Simple, up in the air,
Right,
comes back down,
boom.
and walks on out.
They did
Take
screw
couple
that up a little
snapshots.
bit.
Good patience overall from Gambit pulling that play off, and
But,
honestly,
I mean,
poor planning. It was very obvious that
they
this
screwed
could
it up
happen
a little
when
bit.
Dan got forced out,
From the ignite, Diamond Prox just finds the jungle into the
putting some pressure in.
Dan out of it. Remember, he has to repel. He wants to be taking the
Elise
aggro
needs
here.
to take the turret
Cabashot.
aggro first with the cocoon.
Set this gank
But
up. Remember, Barrage is
Cabashot
up and
hit
it
first.
comes down as well. Beansu's taking a bunch of damage
The
now
I-
underneath this tower.
The idea behind this is Diamond Prox hits first, takes the turret aggro, takes a hit or two, then repels. The turret doesn't know to hit Elise while she's repelling, so it goes to the next person, which would be Cabashot. Elise comes down, finishes the kill. Interesting ult by Gangplank trying to get rid of the minions, so there's so the turret has to focus the champion, but it was still just
ticking
too
down
late.
from the ignite.
First blood to
Poor
Diamond.
planning. It was very obvious that this could happen when Dan got.
Overall, speaking of the team comp from Mouse, I don't know where their damage is going to come from. Like, Gangplank's going to do damage, Malphite is going to be a frontline tank, Rek'Sai, I'm assuming, is going to be a tank, but she's going to build into the tanky items, then into a Black Cleaver, maybe. But the idea of where the damage is going to come from, it's not going to come from Sivir. I mean, she can put out damage, but it's not going to be nearly as much as Callista. Hecarim's going to outdamage the Malphite, and he can dive and hit this Gangplank. He's going to... The issue with Hecarim onto Gangplank, though, is that the Frozen Heart that Hecarim is going to eventually build doesn't really apply to Gangplank because of his true damage.
Forced out of his jungle,
So
he should
I'm
have taken a
still
long way
concerned
back to top
where
lane, 'cause
Mouse
you
is
can't
thinking their
afford
damage is going to
this
come from.
matchup to snowball. You can't afford your Malphite to fall
And that
behind
Elise
for
is
many reasons that we
snowballing.
mentioned already
Elise
in
is
Champs
starting
League.
to put pressure
How
on the map with
one-dimensional
her
your damage
ganks
output is if
and
Malphite
her
doesn't
diving
evolve,
ability. It's
how
just going good.
important Cabashot is
For Gambit.
Gambit as a carry. And
Just for clear
Cabashot and
notes,
Diamond Prox, that
once again, I've
synergy
never
are
seen
just
this game, so I
fantastic.
have no idea how it's going
They
to
zone
turn out.
off Beansu off the farm earlier. Cabashot gets Dan in the jungle, forces him away, then goes for the dive. Even Cannon Barrage wasn't enough to keep them alive. And yeah, Mouse rather, say Mountain because I read the MOU, just
I
slowly
think
falling
Elise
behind.
might be coming down
Yeah,
to
we've
give
already
off
seen
blue
like
to
2 or 3
Victor,
mistakes coming in from
then do
Mouse,
wolves
be it
and
lane
then
swaps
scuttle,
or
then
just
maybe
Dan's
see if she can land a
decision-making.
gank on the
Beansu moving
Sivir
from lane to
cannon.
lane, not really seeing the entire
Due to the fact they
picture.
don't have a bot
Gambit
lane
are just
turret
getting these small
and
advantages.
keep this dragon control, because Malphite's
Prox
still so
gonna be
far
donating
behind
this over
Hecarim.
to the mid lane, which we haven't really
14
spoken
CS
about too much.
differential,
Everything's been
a
happening
level,
in the side lanes,
almost,
so true for
Hecarim's
lane
probably
swaps,
going to get a
but
level on this
Jinx,
push.
it's just kind of been farming up, 62 farm right now, sat on that fade, so of course
Elise
building
is even
towards
out farming the
Triforce,
Rek'Sai
Infinity
because of the
Edge,
early
build
start.
that we typically see.
Yeah,
The only thing going for them right now is
Betsy gets
that
the wave
Bets
clear,
is
so he'll be a
Pinoy
lot
is
easier for
pretty
him to
decent.
just keep pushing in that wave,
behind,
adding pressure.
Sejuani.
Especially
I
like
don't-
Cabashot already in the
Sejuani? I
top
don't
lane.
know how to pronounce
Pressure
it.
from teams because there's a
Sivir.
pause. Even
I don't
advantage
know what this is.
lost all.
Sneaker
Late to carry, I can get even number and quit
is 6 lane and Baron plays
50%. Then additionally, first and just top at
Jeez, long pause.
almost
know how to react to this.
If Elise gets to jump on
fighting me, I guess I'll just
let
go
it back.
out.
Yeah,
Game's back.
the matchup almost. If Elise gets to jump on any other jungler, she is 90% likely to just win that, and that's
Elise is gonna come
especially
down.
a player with the confidence and the bravado of Diamond.
This is a 2-level disadvantage.
This is a team that.
So I don't know if they can do anything. I mean, Callista does have her Cutlass to oppose to Sivir's.
This is a different mouse that we've been seeing.
Oh,
is
Hecarim's
a
even
big
come down.
deal
Oh,
in
this
that
is
one.
gonna be
Teleport coming into
awful
the
for
bottom lane.
Sivir.
Downprox is there as well. Sejun and Mountain. Sejun already cocoons up into the CC chain from Gosu, who's going to be flashing over the wall. But Pinoy's got him. Cannon Barrage comes down, but it's just going to
a really good dive by
Gambit.
Gambit.
Was returned the wall, but
This was an interesting teleport. I actually am pretty impressed that they got behind him in time. That was a really good turn. Spell shield. I think she should have just accepted death and not burn flash.
And Mountain was returned a little bit of damage, but he supports Cannon. What's he
I'm
going to do?
pretty sure at this point it's going to go
play
all
here
in
by
favor of
Gambit, and
Gambit.
it all starts with
There's
Betsy
nothing
pushing in the mid. He
they
peels
can really
off,
do
and then
at
we
this
have
point.
Diamondprox invading. Why? Because he has the pressure from Betsy. Drops a ward, Cabashar teleports when his wave is pushing back in the top
Dan,
wave.
I guess, is trying to counter jungle,
It's just open up an opportunity to
which
shut
he
down
can't even finish.
Mountain or Seduan rather, who were getting
smite
so far ahead against the other bot lane, Pinoy and Ghost Pepper, and that's what they did. So they found their weak spot immediately, and they found it. Not only did they find it, they
Doing Drake
punished
at this
the
point.
opponent that was
hasn't
aggressive,
shown.
and that's really good map play here overall from Gambit. In addition to that,
I mean,
one
they don't
kill
know
on
where
Summer's
he
Bone,
is. I don't think
get a
they
dragon.
do.
On top of that,
I mean, we could
Playing
scroll back a
around
bit.
when his
Do they know? Do they know where
Return a
Rek'Sai
little bit of
is?
damage, but he support Cannon. What's he going to do?
No, they
fantastic
don't know where
5-minute play
Rek'Sai is
here
at this
by
point.
Gambit, and it all starts with Betsy pushing in the mid. He
They
peels
kinda
off.
call out
Shark
this
tele
dragon.
down. Also find it.
They don't know where he is. A little
opponent that
risky,
was
but
aggressing, and that's really good map play here overall from
think
Gambit.
Gangplank
In addition
and
to that one kill on Summer's
Rek'Sai
Bone,
could stop
they get a
this.
dragon on top
yeah.
of that, so fantastic play on the
Victor
map.
shoving in lane, I don't
Gambit
think
taking
so.
so
And
much
Necklace
just
right
in
down
that
in
one
bot.
play. It just one step ahead of Mouse in his jungle. Have not in his grill, but
Dan was made. Gambit, they instead of Dan migrating to as much as possible. This did still 12 CS ahead on Canis. Even though that one kill went down, it didn't really
Sivir
do too
pushing
much
in
because this bot
lane.
lane is still poking out Gambit
Just
continuously, and the
poking
Thresh
on the
Kalista
turret.
matchup does really good in small trades where you can proc to passive, but it does
They
seem
found
that the poke is
Rek'Sai.
just
They know Rek'Sai's down here.
outweighing on
They
them, and they really need to
could be
go for an all in.
expecting a
If they can't
dive.
find it all in to kill Sivir or Kennen, then yeah, they're slowly just gonna get whittled down and lose their tower.
the goal disparity is still there as well. 89 to 63 right now. That's being converted into those items. BF sword picked up by Cedric, as well as
Hecarim's still shoving in this lane against Malphite because of Malphite's weak laning and really weak laning
Do
due to
remember
how
that
this game
Beatrice
started.
teleport is up, so every play
And how
comes
the
with a
lane
cost.
swap went for
The
them.
cost for that play for Gambit on the bot lane obviously is teleport advantage towards
Another
Mouse.
pause.
Off by now from Gangplank. Any given
Just don't go repeat, react.
I think looked like someone had a shitty keyboard.
The team or get robbed. They have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Yeah, Mouse just need to find some teleport plays without sacrificing too much. Cabashard, I like what he does. He goes far behind the tower and then he roams to mid. He's putting pressure on Dan here. Together with Diamondprox, this is something we found lacking in Gambit. We praise them for having good individual players, but they weren't working together. I absolutely adore this play, by the way. What they just did right here.
They're just gonna
First
shove this
step
wave
is proxy
in.
top lane.
Victor's
Second
gonna
step,
shove
move
it
with your
faster
jungle
than
to force out the
Gangplank.
jungle. Third step is move into mid lane.
They
Zone
just
the
burnt the
enemy mid lane off
Gangplank
the tower,
level 6
and then try and get
Gangplank,
it.
a level
Jinx is
1 hit
forced to use his
Gangplank
cannon
so
barrage, and meanwhile,
it's gonna be down
Cabashard is
for a
really
while.
not losing anything. You can just stroll back up to the top lane, putting pressure, and this could have been
think
an
we're gonna
opening
get another
for
dive
Beatson.
on
Gets a breathing,
Malphite again. He might have to
air
ult
beat
away.
and then potentially teleport bot lane.
Nope,
You know, with
okay.
that unstoppable force, try and get Pinoy down, who has no flash.
Diamond just
Probably
gonna
could have been
counter
a play that could
jungle.
have been made to siege down that tower, but no counter
Rek'Sai
play, no
trying to see
reaction
what he
from
can do
Mouse
bot.
and continuous pressure from Gambit.
I don't know what he's gonna try to
Mouths are
do bot, like
continuously
this
losing
Kennen
their globals. They still have
Sivir,
Dan's
he
ult,
really
they still
can't,
have been used
he doesn't have
teleport as
gank
well,
assistance,
as
especially with a
Jinx is in the
Kalista.
middle lane. Whereas
So
Dan
much
also looks
outplay
like there's gank
potential.
bottom lane.
Good vision control, though. Double pink ward, one at every entrance to the jungle, so Dan go over.
Good try from Gosu.
On Hunt gets popped and they could just straight up go
Or
for a
Edward.
dive, especially when Diamondprox is about to reveal
Once
himself.
again,
top, we might
another
see
dive.
action at the other side of the map, but Dan already
I don't know how I feel
packing
about
away.
this dive.
Binsu being
Oh, there we
once
go.
Again. This time he
Yep,
has
he's
ultimate,
dead.
but I don't think
Here
it's going to
comes
help
the
him
repel.
too much. Cabashard with the onslaught of shadows. The
Once
repel
again, they're
comes
just
up.
gonna keep diving this
Cabashard
poor
just strolls
Malphite.
out.
Except
Yeah,
the
panic
kill went
play
over
for Beatsu
to
here.
Hecarim
Engagement
this
at
time.
tower
Get
wasn't
him
on
snowball.
anybody.
I think they're gonna try and
Dan
kill this
finally found his way around here.
Kalista.
Flash in from Kennen.
Mountain with the ultimate moves onto Pinoy, and the Fate Core comes out. It is enough to
This
save
was
Gosu
just
for
really bad.
Mountain
On any
The ultimate
I mean,
moves onto
before
Pinoy,
you could have
and
saw
the
this
face call
tower
comes
was
out.
like
It is enough
dead.
to save
I don't know
Gosu
why they
for
were even
now.
like
They do
trying to
follow up with
protect
Dan,
it.
but
They should
doesn't
have just
quite
said,
get him,
yeah,
so
this
that's another
tower's
kill at
going
the bottom
down,
lane, this time to Mouse.
Yeah, slightly.
and accept that tower was going down. There's nothing they could have done about that. Now I'm not getting sounds.
Slightly delayed events of what we were expecting. However, Mouse can keep pushing on. There's no wave clear here, no defense. Everybody's in the top lane. No teleport for Cabochard. This might be a tier 2 tower falling in the bot lane as a result of that continuous pressure coming out of Serion and Mouse.
This bottom lane should be going down though.
I mean,
The
if they get a
tower
turret out of
will be
this,
backing off.
I mean,
so
it could
Victor is
kind
to
of
two
open
right
vision
now. Mouse are
control,
leading on
but
those objectives.
this is like the best thing Mouse can do. They're gonna steal blue buff,
Mountain and Dan rather taking up.
at the end of the day, they
but
still have a
something I want to draw
Malphite
your
that
attention
doesn't
to,
have
Greppo,
anything going
is
for them.
Captain Boost
GP's
from
starting to
Betsy. I
get
mean,
there.
he saw
He's
Jensen's,
kind of doing
Captain
Trinity
Gangplank and
Force,
responds to
plus
that action.
he has an average
Peculiar
down.
pickup.
He's trying to soak up
Wants
money.
his team to
Heck,
walk
Ream
with
just
him.
finished
He's gonna
Trinity.
fight Betsy, however, he's... Hang on, Cannon Barrage, Cannon goes in, stunned. But he flashed into the tower. Good play by Betsy. Surviving here, and he's adding a lot of pressure here as we see Cabochard coming. He's probably not going to get too much from Cabochard. He might want to get out of there.
Horse yet.
Yeah, barrels do hurt quite a lot even at this level. That's another Prey Seeker slamming into
Diamond's
Betsy.
gonna come
Dimeprox on the
in.
flank as well.
Ballista's not
Sedrin
down
coming
there,
into
so
this
I don't
lane. It's
know
going to be a
what
4
they're
versus
thinking about
3
doing here.
in advantage to
Victor's
Mouse and
no health.
great blue trinket coming in to
Oh,
reveal
good try.
Dimeprox. The
Good try.
cocoon does not quite connect.
Here
How
comes
the
the
teleport
horse.
now
Does
comes
he
into
have
the tower.
Vanguard?
Mouse knew that this play was
No,
being
he
set
does
up. Dimeprox comes up into the air.
Lantern.
The barrel coming down along with the lantern to Gosu. So no casualties on either side. Pinoy was on his way up, but can safely go back to the bottom lane.
Just go
Yeah,
top.
pretty much the only
up
time
that
we can
wave.
even think about sieging mid is when Betsy's low on resources, health and
Stay
mana,
ahead
and he has
of,
to base.
Malphite.
Good defense there by Gambit, collapsing on
I
the
think
mid
this
lane,
goes just
teleporting
into
in.
my
But
past
overall,
videos of
Betsy
saying
has
how
been
it's
putting
a
so much
top-centric
pressure in the mid lane because every
game
time
right now.
Ginge has to help his other lanes.
Saying,
Cannon Barrage
like-
is either used when he's getting...
Like, the top centric is winning right now. The Hecarim's beating out the Malphite. Yeah, they did pick up the Gangplank, but they had no other mid lane choice. They could have went Orianna into Victor just to have some damage and keep the GP top and maybe go with a Kog'Maw, but I don't know what they were getting out of this Sivir pick.
Laning phase when we were stuck in that 1v1 because it was just
With this
barrels,
top-centric
barrels,
meta,
clear out the
I
wave.
feel that the mid lane
And
should
you
just
said
be
yourself, it
this
was
wave
80%,
clear mid.
nothing really happened.
Like the
Betsy
control
was
burst
clearing out the
mage,
wave.
like Victor
Now,
or Orianna
Bassy changed in the
or
middle
Lulu
lane,
or
sieging
Azir.
away. Dan may be caught out here. Dimeprox coming in from the left-hand side.
Oh.
Connects the cocoon. The
It's the
Voltas
cocoon,
Mandling
but no
comes in.
follow-up.
Sedrin is there to
Doesn't really
support,
do
but the rest of
anything.
the Gambit is lying in wait. There's the Lantern back to safety, or back to the
Sorry.
room, more likely. Beansy was thinking about it, finds them, backs off.
Gambit steal away the enemy blue buff. Diamondprox together with Cabochard. Previously, Diamondprox goes in under the
Callista's
protection
trying
of
to catch
Ghost
up.
Pepper.
She was been
Gambit are
farming this whole
working
time
in
bot lane.
duos,
She's
trios
only
as a
30 CS
team.
down behind
This is
now.
something we see sporadically from them, but not as consistent as we do this match. So props to Chance for coaching
What
this very
Gambit's gonna do
chaotic
from here
Gambit
on in.
overall
Just
into a
take
lineup
over
that
them.
works very, very well
Take
together.
over,
It
like
seems.
that. Like I
Going
said,
for
like
second dragon, putting the
that
pressure,
two
not
tower
allowing
thing
Mouse to get
before,
them.
like that was the best
This may
thing
give
that
Mouse
was
the team fight they're
gonna
looking
happen
for. Cannon Barrage preemptively too early. They can't combine into the fight. If you can't use the zone,
Sorry about that.
the Gangplank will be
Like,
to
that
cut off
two
the
tower
escape and then
hit
force people to bunch up
from
for your
bot lane was
Malphite
the best
ulti.
thing that was going to happen. Like,
Could
they
prove
do
a bit
have
of a
strong
waste.
tower
They leave
control,
mid-tower exposed,
but I
though.
feel it's just
Watch
bad
Betsy
rotational
standing
play
over his
from
wave.
Well, Dan
Gambit
was looking
not
for Dimeprox,
controlling the
but
waves
again, there's the
properly.
Lantern, always from Eddie. Bringing them back to
I mean,
safety
they can
once
take
again.
all the
Mid lane
towers they
didn't
want,
go
but
down
they're
for
never going to
Mouse.
crack
They
the
were
inhib
zoned
towers.
away. Dan was more preoccupied trying to get that pick. That's the second time we've seen Jins try to go for that barrel explosion and be stopped by Gambit. Last time actually he just shot the barrel at 3 HP, which doesn't explode the barrel.
Yeah, some questionable barrel mechanics. No gang by Mom just yet. Overall, Cedric migrating to the bot lane. This
Dragon's
pause should
down.
give us enough time to start
Dragon
looking
won't be
at
up
the
for
items,
another
'cause we've
5
seen some
minutes, 4
spikes
minutes,
already.
so that's
Fight
another
Force
3.
finished
They
on
need
Cabochard.
18 minutes.
There's
There'll
no
be
threat just now
about
from Beansu
37-minute
coming out of Malphite.
5-man
He just went for the
dragon.
straight armor, Sunfire Cage,
37,
to add a little
5
bit
dragon,
more
36.
wave pressure, a little more tankiness.
Good for,
so he doesn't
Gambit.
get 1v1 by that horse later in the game.
Even with
Dan is
their
going for
sub 80
traditional
carry.
tank build. Looks
I
like
mean,
he's the one, the
still
designated
going pretty
Aegis uppicker
there.
for his team. So no
Even though the
special
gold
shenanigans coming out
discrepancy is
of him
only
this game.
300,
We're still
like,
waiting on that
they
Fire
still
Force
have no
with the blade
damage.
From Jinch. He took a bit of a detour.
Just the
with average
GP.
blade, going for a bit of a bank flank instead. Quite common to see if you're doing well in the game or if you just want to scale into the late game. But overall, Gambit definitely in the driving seat.
Notice the video. Hold on, I
in
just
that
want to point this
driver's
out.
seat.
The
And
item
as
builds.
well-
I'm looking at the item builds. There's 3 sweeping lenses on Mouse, but Rek'Sai still hasn't completed his Sightstone, and the amount of wards they're going to have to spend, or the money on wards they're going to have to spend, is going to be quite substantial, even though this gold lead shows they're
There's
only...
still time for
Come
the
on.
Black Cleaver. This
Go
is
away.
his build. Usually goes for the Cinderhulk, combines that with extra health as well from Black Cleaver, has picked up the Ruby
It's
Crystal,
a
but
500 gold advantage, but the amount of wards they're going to have to buy is going to even make it worse,
Sedgwick
and
trying to clear
most of the
out
money
this
is on
ward here, goes
Gangplank
to Diamond
from
Cross.
his
That's
parry.
the ultimate.
This is
time
just
has zoomed them away.
overextension
Flash
from
Mountain Flash in return
Gosu,
from Fresh.
not
Now
understanding
coming
where
in, gets a
everyone
knock-up.
is.
Sedgwick also flashes over the wall. There's a lot of resources being burned from Eddie. The Prey Seeker goes wide, but a boomerang connects and takes him down.
I don't
That's
understand
one
what
kill in
Gosu
here.
was doing down there.
Gambit might be able to react. I
think he was warding and just got caught out.
Keep in mind that bot lane is pushing 2
Those
Gambit
wards
can
are
technically
definitely
rotate
coming
away
in
to the
handy
bot
now,
lane here.
but
There's no pressure on the top side of the map.
Gosu shouldn't have never been in there.
From Malphite.
He was going in by
Honestly,
himself.
Mousesports, yes, they get Edward here.
I
or
believe he
Gosu
was going
Pepper.
in by himself.
But a boomerang from Mountain. Out this ward here goes
Okay, they're both going in, but they're not respecting how the gap closing from Cannon, the ult from Gangplank. Victor's not shoved in yet. I don't know why they were going that direction.
The Prey Seeker goes wide.
They're gonna siege back at them.
Goes into spider form.
Keep in mind
Malphite's
that
top,
Botman is
Hecarim's
pushing
coming
Gambit,
down.
they rotate away to the
They
bot
could
lane here. There's no
push
pressure on the top
this
side
wave
of the map.
out
This
because of the
puts them
Gangplank
far
barrels, but
away
they're not gonna
from
get anything
Malphite.
out of this.
Honestly, Mousesports, yes, they get Edward here, or Gosu Pepper, but it's just too much use. And look, Gambit are just going into the enemy
This
jungle,
point, just hang in the
deporting along
jungle.
their
Oh,
way,
you don't have
cutting off
Thresh.
any escape, even 4v5, they're controlling the tempo, they're controlling the map.
They're gonna get collapsed on.
Mousesports' wave was cleared in mid lane, very important.
Pepper's
when you
not
roll
gonna
the
make
fade
it.
away first, with progression, now we see
Sivir
all
ult
the
burned.
slightly nerfed the duration of it.
I don't know.
Gets cocooned.
Yeah, I mean, it's only
This is
level
not
1,
good for
so
Diamond.
it's not gonna last
Oh.
too long. There's Diamond Procs going
Malphite
up
ult.
and just fighting Beansu, who comes in with the unstoppable foot. They'll get the first kill onto Elise, and Jinx is looking to zone with the barrels. The first one goes down.
Thresh
That's a
came in
return kill
finally.
onto Sedgwick.
Yep.
This is all going wrong
This
for
was
Mouse as they get chased
not
down by the
going good.
horse. That's another kill, and Gosu
Really,
gets his revenge.
really sloppy.
Betsy now coming into this bottom lane.
I mean,
that was a 3-4-2.
Mouse
in
did
favor
get
of
the
Gambit.
engage. I think
It
they should have
looks
just been
pretty
happy
once
that they
that
kicked them
Malphite
off the
ult
mid lane
connected,
turret
then you
and not try this
realize
3
that
for
you just
2
used
trade.
everything on
And now they're
cashing
gonna
out
lose
Edward
bot.
earlier,
I think
and
they
he
should just
walked
try
back
to
the
protect
bottom
the
lane.
turret.
He got Fate's called in, got a double knock-up double for yes, Ginge picked up a kill with an auto attack, but Gambit still find themselves
But once again, it comes back
with
to
one
where's the
kill up
damage. It's
overall in
literally
that
just
exchange,
Gangplank
and an additional tower,
and Sivir.
and they're leaving wards to boot at the end. Again, they're just getting more and more in every little skirmish because they're playing the game smarter, they're planning ahead, and Mouse is dancing to Gambit's tune. Watch that again.
I just want to know what she repels onto.
Debatable whether she should
I think
go
she
for the
repels
aggressive play.
onto
Good repel, though. Goes over
the
to
tunnel.
the initial position of Dano on that backside. Double knock-up from Diamond Procs. He goes, but Pinoy gets out.
Gosu's
Jinx
finally
is
getting there.
staring at himself in this fight. He's trying
He
to
just
set up
gets
these
ulted
combos
right
with
in.
a bit too much
Play,
tunnel vision
knock
on the
up.
barrels, trying to chain them, but you just don't have
See
the
a
time to do that
Gangplank.
yet in these fights. So you require some more setup for that.
I mean,
An overall clean fight, clean executed by
the
Gambit.
Sivir ult was just off.
Relief
She
now
ulted
slightly,
like 10. She
1,500
ulted
gold,
right over
but they're
here
already
when
up
they
to
were
dragons.
trying to get down there, and it wasn't as a group,
Already
so it's
taking
only
a
her
big
moving
advantage
fast.
in this game. As you mentioned, Jinx is currently sat on this Triforce, still has that Abra's Blade, and will build into a Ghost Blade if he's looking for it, but right now, it's just generating them more gold. Likewise,
Alright,
with
we
Sedge
got
and
the
Hook
Trinity
going
on
to a static
Hecarim. He's
shiv.
starting to build Frozen Heart,
Still,
so he
we
is
do
getting
have this
tanky against the
good
Sivir
engagement
Malphite
position.
Rek'Sai.
If they engage and
The
always
Gangplank's
lose,
still gonna
it's not
do
much
damage,
points in the
but
Yeah, we've hit the 20-minute mark right now, and if you
It
look at the stats,
doesn't seem
on
like it's gonna
average,
be doing
Mousesports
much.
find themselves 1,000 gold down. On average, Gambit 700 gold up.
I feel the stat line
Roughly,
is on this
two
is a little off
better
because
Gambit,
Gambit
just
was
about
playing in
in
the
that sense that they're always
LCS,
behind the 20 minutes, but
not the Challenger
or
Series.
on average at least. So
And I guess Mouse
bit
was on the
how we
top side
expected
of the
the series to
Challenger
play
Series.
out.
Like, I feel that
Obviously,
stat's
Mousesports
like
have a decent
a
footing in
stupid
the game
stat
still,
to put up.
but time doesn't really play
It
in
doesn't
their
make sense
favor,
to
and
me.
that's what worries me for their composition.
Alright, we got Drake in a minute. I guess Malphite going, Hecarim going bot is fine.
Gradually just been getting
can
ahead in top
threaten
lane,
Baron.
but still the bottom lane.
You do have the
The
Kalista.
advantage that he built up down there, up against Pinoy, is still there. Still 30 CS ahead.
Oh, this is very interesting because obviously I'm tracking how much armor people are building here to combat this mouse composition. As we see Gambit start a siege fight over the blue buff. Will the barrel get it? No, Diamond Procs does get it, steals it away. Take a look at the items. We see
Okay.
2 Glacial Shrouds finished on the Gambit lineup. That means likely we see 1 Frozen Heart, which is a fantastic second item on Cabo Shard. But then the build path: Glacial Shard plus 2 Amp Tomes on Diamond Procs. I think this will be the first time I see a Ziggs this early on Elise as a jungler, and I kind of like it. All the stats do well for Elise, and it just helps with their lineup. Obviously, Pinoy on Kalista isn't the most crit reliant AD carry, but all bits help.
Every little helps, Crapo.
I don't
From
think
England,
the
that would
Zeeks
be
is
a little bit
appropriate.
more. But Diamond
I think they
is gonna
messed
be
up in their
taking
build
away
path. I
Squad
think
Grab here, preparing for this
I
next
think the
draft,
Elise
which is
going
going
Frozen
in.
Heart doesn't make sense at this point. She can build defensively. I mean, they're all AD. Kennen's the only AP, so Frozen Heart from both of them would be okay, but I don't think Frozen Heart from both of them is necessary. Maybe the Malphite could just go straight into Randuin's, not Frozen Heart, because of how he's fighting. I think that should have been the proper order, because, I mean, Hecarim's are usually going into this Trinity Force Frozen Heart build because how close into the fight they are. But with this team comp, I think a Randuin's on one of them would make more sense. I guess it doesn't matter, I don't think, who gets it. I mean, the Hecarim getting a Frozen Heart would be nice, or Randuin's would be nice, but it's going to pull out the same thing. But both of them building Frozen Heart, I don't see the pros of doing that. I think the Elise getting... I think the Elise building Frozen Heart makes a little more sense.
Mouse move into the middle lane. They still have
But both of
vision
them
over
are
the
building
area,
it.
so they are there to react. if
Or it
Gambit
could be the
started.
Zeeks, which I don't even think
Very
should have.
active
Callista's not a crit champion. Alright, we're waiting on a TP. I mean, there's plenty of options for Hecarim to TP onto. We'll see which one he does choose to TP onto.
This may be the first dragon of the series. They will have to yield. You really don't want to fight.
I guess they're not going to go for it.
Easy engage. Malphite ulti combined with On the Hunt. As long as the cannon has flash, he can connect an AoE stun on multiple people.
Oh, this is
wise
awkward.
from Gambit to up out of the fight.
What
However, we
is
see a
going
flag from
on here?
Kamashard.
Yeah, this might tip the tables. Great ultimate lands onto 4
What
Mountain,
on earth?
immediately pops his ultimate defensively. Do you manage to take down Kamashard?
Okay.
Re-engage by Beanstu onto the back lines. Miles may just want to get out here. He is trying to get away, but a Chaos Storm makes sure he dies. Gosu with a flash. Actually, no flash, just comes
don't
in
know
with
what
the
even
See a
the
flag
thought
from
process was
Kamashard.
with
Yeah,
this.
this might get that vision.
Alright, they have...
Blue buff is
They
being
have a
taken over
ward.
by
I think he
Gambit.
TP's on a
Bracing
ward
comes
over here or
to quite
something.
secure it.
Because it's just
Going over
awkward
to
where he
Diamond
TP's
Prox
in
this
from.
time
He
around.
goes in, but no
Mouse
one's
moves
here.
into
Like,
the
I
middle
guess they
lane.
want to
Still
shove
has
this,
vision
but
over
you
the
can't
area,
really
so
shove
they
against
are
the
there to
Sivir.
react if
I think
Gambit
they just need to
started.
stand their ground at this
Gambit
point
very
and keep
active
this. Like,
on these
right now, they can't... If... I don't
objectives,
care about
not only
Hecarim.
dragons,
I do,
they're
actually.
contested a lot.
Like, right now, Hecarim has an option right here. He has Victor, Callista here. Elise, Thresh here. And if he really... Yeah, okay, he ends up TPing on that. What? This ward, I think, would be this ward right here would be appropriate to TP onto. He has... they're just in a split up spot.
Moving around to get
Let's
these
go through.
towers.
Let's
They
wait
have
and see
four
how they
towers
move
to
around.
free lead.
They get a
Well,
ward
Mouse
right
Force
here. They're gonna
Masters
sweep
lineup
it.
does like
No?
fighting around his objectives, so they're built for this. So Gambit will have to be careful. This may be the first dragon of the series.
Now, the idea of TPing, it's to get to the back line, which it would be the AD carry and the mid laner. But the mid laner is not isn't a backliner this time. It's a frontline gangplank. So going onto the Sivir, I guess, is okay, because Sivir is one of the damage dealers in this composition, which is awkward. So going onto the Sivir is fine,
You really don't want to fight
but I think the
this early in
gangplank
the
would
game
make
against
more
such an
sense.
Easy engage. Malphite
Alright,
ulti
so let's
combined
see.
with
We
On the
got.
Hunt. As long as the
I
cannon
don't
has
know
flash,
what
he
we're
can
waiting
connect
on here. The Drake's going down.
AoE
We're
stun
not
on
getting in
multiple
here, and
people.
here he
So
comes.
wise from
He's going in
Gambit
1v5
out of
right
the
now.
fight. However, we see
I
a
don't
flag from
know what he's doing.
Kamashard.
Yeah, this might
The
tip
gangplank
table.
ult's just gonna slow these people, slow the rest of his team down.
It's
He's
great
not gonna
ultimate
get
lands
out.
onto 4 Mountain, immediately pops his ultimate defensively. Do you manage to take down Cabashot?
They're
Re-engage
gonna
by Beanstu
he
onto the back lines.
Beanstu just gives up his life to protect the rest
He
of
is
the
trying to
team.
get
I
away,
think
but the
this was
Chaos
just
Storm makes sure
horribly
he
wrong
dies.
from
Gosu with a flash.
Gambit.
Actually, no flash,
They
just comes
kind
in
of
with the
they
death
didn't have
sentence,
Drake
doesn't quite
prep.
connect
They
there. So
didn't.
1-for-1,
They
both the
wanted
top
to get
lanes
this, I
exchange.
guess, epic.
Questionable engage
Gambit.
and flank from Cabashard. Yes, he gets the onslaught of shadows on multiple members, but it didn't really.
He didn't have follow-up.
And then questionable re-engage by Beanstu. I think they could have just taken that fight 1-0. Good wave clear here by change on that gangplank, so not much else will come of it.
All right.
But a bit forced. If Gambit wants to fight that dragon, why not fight them when they're distracted
Yeah,
doing the dragon?
I
Cabashard
kind of
opts
agree
in
with
for the
Crepo
follow-up
there,
flank
but
later,
it was
after the
just
objective
a
already
crappy
down.
engage.
Gambit
They didn't
had
have the
control
proper
over
warding
mid lane
for
area.
the TP
Not quite
flank
sure
to go
why they
through.
want to do that. Perhaps they just
Now
felt
they
were
have
stronger.
plenty of
The
wards
ultimate
over
all.
it. Great.
You go in when
You're
he least
prepped
expects it.
for the next 5
that
minutes
doesn't really
if no
work
one
that
goes
well.
down there and clears it.
No, it did
But
not. Still,
Baron's gonna be
1-for-1
the
trade.
next big
The first dragon
concern
for Mao's going over to
or
the third
objective.
of the game. Gambit not going to be getting to those 5 dragons as soon.
Baron.
By Diamond Prox in the jungle, so we have found
They do have the
what that's going
Callista.
into.
They
Will be,
do.
assisting
Yeah,
his
they
team
have
on
Callista,
that one.
and they did
It
beat
is what
build
we
Zeke's.
expected. If you aren't
I
familiar with
guess
Zeke's,
Zeke's,
obviously
let's see,
you build
I
a proc
guess
when it
Zeke's is
procs,
going to the
you
Callista.
get roughly 50, not roughly, exactly 50% crit for around 8 seconds now on 5.15. Phenomenal. Then you can keep getting tanky. Ghost Pepper obviously had
They're moving their ping control towards Drake, towards Baron.
Earlier, not paying off dividends so
At this
far.
point, they just need to pick off people.
And Hurricane picked up by Pinoy as well,
Gambit,
taking 2 items
or
from
split
Likewise,
with
so
this
is
Hecrium,
Cedric
that's
on Sivir.
unstoppable.
Still, these teams are now kind of petering out. 2 is 0 and 4, has been engaging a lot, has won, so
They're just going to do this awkward lane
Two
shoving
right
and Baron
now.
baiting.
Large finished up already, building towards
Okay.
even more
Shoving
raw
in the
AP damage
lanes.
combined with CDR boots.
Close to
It's what
pushed
we
in
like
lane.
seeing from Victor. Just a couple of CDR points from that CDR boots, and then just raw ability power. Blow up the enemy team. One laser, one Q, one Chaos Storm, and they just
Okay,
immediately
clearing out
evaporate.
vision.
All he has to do is
Rek'Sai
dodge
still
beats his
hasn't built
ultimate.
sight
He can
stone.
flash out of that, whether it be aggressively or defensively.
That's a little
on fire.
concerning.
He can win team fights.
Elise
even
has
on
sight
his
stone.
Some squishy
Sight
targets to
stone
hit
on
in
the
this one as
fresh,
well.
obviously.
And Jinx's positioning has been a little dodgy, so might be able to hit him once again with that
See,
ultimate.
right now they could just
Now,
clear out
Gambit
this whole
are
vision
denying
and just
completely
start.
the vision.
They,
However,
well, they
Capital
know
was
they're
picked
doing
up by
Baron
that
because
ward
of
just
this
off to the
ward.
side of Baron,
Because
so
of this ward right
Mouse
here.
have been tipped
But
onto
they're
this
just gonna
attempt.
they're gonna kill
They
Gangplank.
can
Oh,
stop it. Well, Gangplank Ultimate will do so. Tracer
now
can
that we
put
know
it
it's
across.
down.
And Zeke's used on Cavachard in
they
the top
split
lane,
up.
actually. Down Procs.
Oh.
Great repel.
They
Dodges
repel
out of
the
the
ult.
way. Binsu's ultimate. And down Procs does flash away.
This is
Cavachard
gonna
back
be really
into the
bad
meat
for
grinder.
Mouse.
And immediately uses his ultimate again. Lands on multiple members. And he's still alive from his W. Finally goes
Okay.
down, but gets the double kill.
How to
It's a
not fight
4-4-1.
against Victor.
Make that a 5. To the
Alright.
meat. Dodges across. And Zeke's used
Victor's
on,
gonna have,
Cavachard in
like,
the top lane,
a wet
actually.
dream
Down
right
Procs.
here.
Great repel.
Alright, they're all clumped. Still all clumped. Still all clumped. Still all clumped. Callista, Victor, even Hecrium. Now, I'm waiting for the ult from Pinoy just to throw Thresh in to get the 5-man knock-up play. He's going to land a Maelstrom. His laser's going to go through. There's the throw. Nope, no throw. He just walks in. Play. He's going to hook Gangplank. Like, this is just really bad from Mouse. Like, you can't clump like this against a Hecrium, a Victor, and a Callista with Runons.
His W finally goes down, but gets the double kill. That's a 4-4-1. Make that a 5-for-1
5
over
for
to
1.
Gambit.
Ace for Gambit
Victor.
overall because Mouse
That was just a really bad team fight from...
They used their one bullet in the shotgun on Bing,
okay,
so that engaged.
Diamond
It
felt like
completely
dying.
wills,
I think he
whiffs,
could have
Diamond
just
Procs
left.
lands, dodges the cannon, ultimate 2 flashes out. That's where Mouseport
Go,
said,
so you
okay,
gonna die too?
drop some wards, get the hell out of
Yep.
there. You don't chase into a victim. You don't chase into a potential non-Skillista. They can then 3-hit every single one of you.
Oh, wow, he didn't.
Again, the story where they overuse all their
Okay.
engaged chasing a pick. They don't have anybody saying back off. They even use the cannon barrage too
Like,
early
right
in
now,
the
they're
bomb
happy.
position.
They got him off the
All
Baron.
they
Just
do,
leave.
Gambit on Baron. Watch this again, Diamond Procs.
He does
Fantastic
repel the
repel.
ult. That's
He
really
lands
cool.
bits at the cannon ult, he flashes out. Good path.
But after this, like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, you think you're, like, I don't understand what their thought process was. Like, you're going into a Victor, Callista, Hecrium. You don't want to fight in this, like, 3-way choke. And then after that, the Thresh is going to hook you, and you're just going to be done.
Gambit now should be able to easily close out this game.
With the Baron, with his 2 dragons and the
Okay,
tower advantage,
Baron,
Gambit
Gangplank
should be
picking up
taking a
a
lot
blue.
from this, but with that
Let's see
Triforce,
what we
it's
do with
building
this
towards
Baron.
now the 5-0 Pinoy in the middle lane. 1-1 and 8.
I think
Hasn't
a
had
4-1
stellar
would
game,
be
hasn't had an
appropriate.
incredible game, but has done what he's needed to do on Callista.
This
Keeping
Hecrium
up
is
in the
unstoppable.
middle lane.
He just
Cavachard
built a
on the top
Hex
lane,
Drinker.
has teleport. Binsu does
I
as well.
don't know
And
why.
while the globals
but
are
he
up
did
from
build a
Mouse,
Hex
they just
Drinker.
haven't been able to use this,
Alrighty then.
use them in this game at all in an
I
effective
think
manner.
that's just
Yeah,
a little
Mouse
weird.
started
Who's he building it for? Kennen? Malphite, I guess, maybe?
Making use of their teleports at all. We
I don't
see
understand what the Hex Drinker's for.
Engage here being picked up on Mountain on the support. He has that Righteous Glory. Always forget the name, always have to look over. I always want to say Talisman, but it's not Talisman. Righteous Glory finished
Okay,
on
we're
him. He
just
wants to
gonna
go in.
shove this
Just it
in at
spells out
this
exactly
point.
what Mouse wants to do. Very predictable at this
respect
point.
the
Good
flush,
hook here by
brush hook.
Pepper. Again, disengaged. It's passive.
Gangplank ult's gonna
Use
clear this
all that
wave.
cannon barrage, and they're not tying their engagement to because they're getting caught before they have the setup beautifully done. Beatster's not even close.
Drake up in 10
Mouse
seconds.
even need
I
to
think
start
they're just
looking
going
for
to try to
flanks at
take
this
this
point because they really want to
mid
catch
turret and just
Betsy
go back
and
to
ideally
Drake.
Pinoy on top
Unless
of
like
him
a heavy
with that
engage pops out and they can get an
unstoppable force
ace.
from Malphite, then
Or
combo that,
something that they
cutting
can
off
still
the
keep
escape
sieging.
route with
Hecrium
potential
is
cannon barrage, but
recalling.
they keep using key
I guess he's
components
looking.
of their combo and just idle picks and it's just not working out for Mouse Sports.
Right.
I literally just watched
gonna go do
Jins
Drake.
place down 3 barrels, all of which just got cleared out
They
by
could
Pinoy
rotate top
right
as
in front of
well.
them, and it's like, well, you have no
Hecarim
barrels,
can
we'll
solo
just
the
take this
Drake,
out,
then
we have
just
no wave right
TP,
now. And
recall TP, and
it's
if
just a little
anything
weird.
does occur.
It's something they've practiced
Alright,
with, it's something
why
that
not?
didn't work out. I
Gonna
like
go
to see
push
something
bot.
else from Jins in the next series. But it's still a best of 5.
I
There
mean,
is a
Gambit
lot
is
of
the
room to
one
maneuver,
dictating
and
the
this was still
pace of this game right now.
both teams reading each other and just getting
And Mouse has to
information on each
follow
other as we
them,
said
so
in
I guess they
Champions
don't
Select.
really
So
want this
now
5th
Mouse
Dragon
maybe have a
threat.
better
I
read
mean,
on
at
what
this
Gambit
point,
do in
they
the early
really don't need it. The
Pepper
movement
on the
speed
side
would
looking
be
for another
nice,
hook, and even though he and Pinoy
but the
fell
Hecarim
behind
split push
early
is
game,
just going to occur.
Gambit as a
They're
team
gonna do this
covered up that
1-4
weakness
split, which I
and
think
used it
is
to their
appropriate.
advantage to start forcing
They really
fights
can't
with the
do a
members that were ahead.
1-3-1.
Betsy moving in earlier, Cabashard with some good TPs
This,
that
the
he could do
Gangplank,
because he had that added pressure on the
they'll
top
just
lane.
be
He never
too much
really
wave
lost anything.
clear
Whenever Cabashard
overall
joined these
for a
fights, he never
1-3-1.
sacrificed anything for himself.
and they just want
Mostly
this
due to
last
the merit
outer.
of Diamond Procs,
this last tier 2.
positioning well on the map. Another tier 2 tower is about to fall here for Gambit. Full
Now
control
they
of the
should
game.
just
And
all
at this
recall.
point,
Now
it
they're
is
going to get
incredibly
out.
hard for Mouse to strike
they'll
back
probably
because
hit up
everything
Drake.
will happen not only in full vision.
They're trying
it'll
to
be
catch
super
out
predictable here.
Thresh.
Defensive box by
I don't-
Edward. He should be able to walk out. Gambit can go to base and spend some well-earned money.
Yeah, Dan face first into the box. Did not get the engage he was looking for. Pinoy and Diamond Procs on the way down to Dragon as well. Something that Mal's pretty much
There's the
should
Drake.
test here. And Cabashard's
Or
already on it.
recall him
He's
by.
running low on mana.
They're
And
very likely
Mal's
to
actually
do so,
coming
though.
down. Yeah.
At this point in the game, they don't have much left. They
Okay.
know part of the members of
Alright,
Gambit
no,
basically
they
jumped
saw
out,
them.
spent a lot of
Or knew
resources.
they were
Mouse was
coming.
closer to their base, so there's a good likelihood that many of their members shot, and they really can't afford
This
to play
shouldn't
any
be
more
happening.
passive. It is go big or go home, likely go home, but this is their
Right, lands
last
on the
chance
cannon.
at really
Here comes
redeeming
Hecarim.
themselves.
Hook onto Mountain, does get his ultimate off, but not before he really goes down. Pinoy drags in, goes to Pepper, immediately spits him back out again.
go help
Cabashard
Kalista.
just running rampage over the team of Mouse Sports to get another kill to finish that one off. A 4-0 plus the Dragon. Jins is the only surviving
Alright, let's see what
member.
even
A
happens
full
to this
age,
fight.
drags in, goes on to
Go home,
Alright.
likely their members shot.
Hecarim's
and they really
teleporting
can't
on
afford to play
that
any more
ward.
passive. It is
I guess
go
that's the
big or go
closest thing
home,
they got
likely
because
go
no
home,
one's
but
been
this is
down
their
that blue
last
side.
chance at really
I mean, that red side
redeeming
jungle.
themselves.
hook onto Mountain.
He goes
Does
straight
get
into
his
the Drake
ultimate
and goes
off, but not
after
before he really
after
goes
Sivir,
down.
that's
Pinoy
fine.
drags in, goes
He's
to
just going to
Pepper,
keep diving
immediately
her and
spits him
Elise.
back out again.
Betsy did
Cabashard
the right. Betsy did the
just
right thing
goes
here
down.
and
Pinoy
going
drags
after
in,
it this
goes
way
Pepper,
to help
immediately
the
spits him back out again.
Kalista
Cabashard just running
get them off him
rampage over the team of Mouse
and help
Sports.
Thresh
Gets
peel for
another
Kalista
kill
and
to
just
finish
kill
that
him
one off.
because he was a 5 and 0 and
plus the Dragon.
he was
Jins is
huge.
the only surviving member left
He
on
has a
that
Ludens,
team.
a Zonias,
Ultimately,
another
the Dragon play
Needless.
didn't work out.
Didn't work out, wasn't
Ionian
really meant
boots.
to work out, but it was
He's
the best
huge
out of
on
a lot
top of his
bad
elixir.
options left for Mouseport at this
I think they're
point.
just going to be able to
Gambit
push
took
this
full
and then
control of the game here in the later stages
not
with some
pushing
good
it.
shot
They'll be
calling,
able
some
to take
good
this turret
maneuvering.
though.
Looking to finally open up their first inhibitor in
Probably
the series,
grab the
31
inhib.
minutes in, and overall, we've seen a strategically coordinated
probably
Gambit
rotate
game,
top.
and it pleases me to see that, and they really want to stay in the LCS.
Or they're
Not only
gonna
that, they want to do well.
Diamond is a little low. They
keep
didn't
doing
have
this line of
Thresh.
play. They definitely
Victor wanted to
should be able
recall, I
to
guess.
avoid relegation
Okay.
next season come, because honestly we see some better shot calling than we've seen in the bottom of the LCS tables overall.
Hecarim's
This
going
is
to go back to
definitely
a
Gambit
split.
that is on point.
Right
this
now,
game.
at this point,
Definitely looks like an
everyone's going to
LCS
recall.
team versus the
I think it
Challenger
should be
team.
another
What else do
4-0-1.
Mouse have in their
Let
back
the
pocket
supers
for
push
pressure?
through mid,
Because
or
they
you could
definitely
do
have
something a little
this is
different.
very
You could
different
do
composition.
you could have 4 go through where the
Pepper.
mid lane is and let
Thinking about
Hecarim
warding
pick a lane and
back.
push.
I think it's the wrong approach to put a passive tank that will never die on the top lane to try and neutralize Cabashard. I really think
There we
they
go, we got
fight fire
Thornmail.
with
That
fire,
makes a
bring out
little
the
more
Fiora,
sense
the
from
Gangplank.
Hecarim. I still don't understand this
Irelia
Hex
perhaps,
Drinker.
and just
There's
try
the
and snowball
Randallins
with
for
the more
Elise.
aggressive jungler. Don't
Still
give
don't
the
see what the
stronger 2v2 to
Zeeks
Gambit,
did
because
for
that's always
them.
been one of their strong points. The synergy between Diamond Fox and
Aegis
Cabashard
for
has always been good.
Aegis of the
What has
Legion
been
for
lacking
Thresh.
sometimes is the synergy
I don't
between
know
Ghost
why,
Pepper and
but
Diamond
you
Fox,
know,
especially in terms of vision.
it's
Both
for
like
MR.
warding,
I mean, I
especially
guess the
Diamond Fox
shield's
wards a lot,
nice,
but it was inefficient vision.
No.
It wasn't placed in unison, and it wasn't placed with a goal. This series, we clearly see Gambit grouping up. The goal here is Baron vision, and then they move up to the top lane. They're gonna push that. They're choking out. This is the third blue buff I believe they're contesting in this series.
They're gonna
So
get blue
Gambit
again,
always have an objective
potentially,
in mind, and
more than
it's
likely.
really good
Yep.
to see that.
I don't know what
Yeah, so
Hecarim's doing.
criticized
He's
Diamond
kind of
Fox.
like sitting there
Places down
farming.
so many more
I
walls
mean,
than
he doesn't
Dan.
need to be anywhere. I guess
Kind
mid
of
would be
just
the
all over
proper
This
place for
time
him to be.
with a purpose. And Binsu is heading into the mid lane. He's going to find his old friend.
And just going to siege mid.
To meet him.
They're
At
going
this
to
point
siege
in the game,
top of the
Kamashad
mid.
probably not going to be able to kill him, but
It's not going
over
to kill
time
him.
he will erode the rock.
Up,
Jins
took the
just get hooked by
gangplank.
Ghost
No
Who
one
Pepper,
helping.
Decide to eat the
They're just
oranges
trying to
just
get
yet.
this tower.
Dan heading back into base, and now starts the siege, but the middle inhibitor's already gone down, so it's going to stop.
Push back on
Look at
mid lane.
Cabashard, his itemization. Triforce was finished, and then obviously, as we mentioned before, full AD
Siege on
composition
this
on the
top
enemy
again.
side. What do? You build Frozen Heart.
They're gonna try ulting. Oh, there you go.
Last engage, last chance saloon in from Mouse. Dan gets into the fight, but he's already out of the fight, and Jins has gone down. Betsy just blew him up, and now
I don't know
Beans
where
is kind of left
Gangplank
by
went, but he
himself.
got
Yes, he's
melted.
tanky,
Let's
but
go over
you
that.
have no damage. Blew him out.
This is the issue with going
Full AD
Malphite.
composition on the enemy
You
side.
need,
What do?
you still need
build
damage to
Frozen Heart.
back it up. Like, watch this. It's a pretty decent engage. She lands on
Last
one of
engage,
them.
gone down. Chance saloon.
Heart.
Let's see, flash ult. He's gonna get Hecarim, and he's gonna get. He's not even gonna get Victor. Victor Zonia's. So let's see. We got. All right. We got the. We got Rek'Sai and Malphite over there. Gangplank's ulting in the backline, hurting Callista. Cannon's trying to come in, do something. Here comes Jinxed. He's already chunked. This Victor's gonna chunk him more, and he's gonna land on this. Okay, he did nothing in that fight. And he was the majority of the damage too. Alright.
Has gone down. Betsy just blew him
Continuing,
up.
they're
And
just
now
gonna
Beans is
kill
just kind of left by
Malphite, and they're just
himself.
gonna
Yes,
siege
he's
this
tanky,
turret.
but
They
if you
can just
have
go
no
mid and
damage
end.
behind him, what's the point in having Malphite there? 2-0.
That should
Look
be
at
game.
that final item by Cabashard. He's feasting on the tears
Okay.
of Mouse Sports and
Overall,
Gambit.
I think this was just really poor pick and ban from Mouse. Picking this Sivir. If you're gonna first pick the Gangplank and then send him mid, you kind of need... The Gangplank needs to be with the team. He really can't go away and split, especially if you're gonna have Malphite. If Gangplank wanted to go split and push, it couldn't occur. Like, Sivir can push the lanes back if she was to go mid, if they were to siege mid against this, but if they engaged, they have a Malphite, a Sivir, a Cinderhulk Rek'Sai. That still doesn't have Sightstone, but at this point, he didn't build Sightstone. That's an issue. But what damage is going to come out from Mouse, Sivir, and Gangplank? I don't understand. Oh well, good job
Boys to
Gambit
take
for...
game one.
I guess good job
They're going to be
Gambit.
taking down the second Nexus turret and the Nexus itself. This
think
Gambit has
I
been
think
on
Diamond
point,
just,
and they will be
like,
taking it up
stomped
to Mouse Sports,
this
taking
game
game one of the
completely.
series.
Cabashard did his job, but I think it was more on the Elise. And everyone
Minor
on
mistakes
Gambit did
overall,
their
but
job.
Clean game plan coming in.
Good job from
One thing
Gambit.
I would
Alright.
highlight here, if I was Sean's, it was like, why did you go for that?